Oh, it's 1:11. Oh, so perfect. What a great time to start. So today I want to talk about what the heck is the illusion of separation. So my coaching is very secular. Like I don't really bring any of my spirituality into my coaching because I want to make it accessible for everybody. And so therefore I coach from thought patterns and helping people to identify where certain beliefs have been created and when certain tendencies got born and all of that. And it doesn't actually require any understanding of spirituality in order to get my coaching, which I've been really committed to doing that so that I'm accessible to anybody, regardless of your religion, regardless of your spirituality, if you're an atheist, no matter what. However, I have a very deep spirituality of my own, which I don't often share. And that's something that I'm really stepping into in my life, a greater willingness to share about that because it's really served me in my life. And sometimes this discrepancy between my own spirituality and my coaching practice and the way that I write, this very secular way of writing, sometimes I'm really aware of that discrepancy. And for example, sometimes I'll be on a coaching call and I'll say something like, well, you're in the illusion of separation. And I'll get my client saying, wait, what the heck is the illusion of separation? What does that mean? You can just throw that out there. And I'll be like, oh, okay, right. All right. So let's back it up. Let's lay some groundwork here. So I want to talk today a little bit about what the illusion of separation is and how we can get ourselves out of it. I have like less than 15 minutes until my next coaching call. So this is kind of a big topic to try to take on in that short period of time. But essentially, and just a precursor, everything that I'm about to share are my beliefs. These are beliefs that I've come to through sort of experiential understandings. So from my perspective, it's an understanding. It's not really a belief. It's something that I've discovered about the truth of reality. However, I get that there is no objective truth. And so really, I'm just sharing these perspectives that I've stumbled upon that have really served me. So it's not about the truth. It's just about a perspective that gives me freedom and it gives me peace and it gives me power and it gives me a context with which to understand life, a way to contextualize all of my experiences in a way that serves me. So this idea of the illusion of separation. From my understanding, the basis of reality is ever-present loving awareness. Everything that we experience in life is an object that arises in our awareness. Every emotion that we experience is an object that arises in our awareness. And when I say an object, what I mean is something that you can experience. It's something that you can look at. We often identify with our emotions and think, well, I am sad. It's not really that we are sad. We are the awareness in which sadness arises. We are the awareness in which happiness arises. We often identify ourselves with things like, well, I am my body, or I am my life, or I am my experiences, when that's not true. You are actually the awareness in which your body arises. You can't be your body because then who the heck is the person that's experiencing your body? Or what is the awareness that's experiencing your body? That's what you really are. Anything that you can look at, anything that you can name is an object that is arising in the awareness that you are. All of life is this same awareness. At the essence of every living creature is simply this awareness. We actually have no way to prove that there is anything out there. There's just like actually no way to prove it because everything, it's not like this mug. It's not like I have any way of actually proving that this mug exists, because what's happening is there are signals that are hitting my brain that are telling me that I'm touching the hardness of this mug and that I'm seeing the colors of this mug and that I'm feeling it and experiencing it. But all that's happening in my awareness. It's not actually happening out here. So all we really are is this ever-present awareness. And in my belief, ever-present awareness is love. There's no difference. When we're in awareness, without the story, without the interpretation, without the labels, when we're just residing in awareness, this is the same thing as being in love. So from my perspective, the only thing that actually exists is love. And love is the basis of reality. Love is the bedrock of existence, this loving, ever-present awareness. However, if there were only one thing, if we were in the awareness that love is all that there is, then we would have no way to experience anything. If you imagine my finger expanding and expanding and expanding and expanding and expanding and expanding until there's nothing but my finger in the entire universe, and there's only infinite finger, then my finger actually disappears. There's no way to experience my finger because it's all that there is. There's nothing against which to contrast it. And so therefore, there's no longer any finger. So in the same way, when loving, ever-present awareness is actually all that there is, and when it is the basis of reality, and when it is infinite, there's no way for us to actually experience what it is without the illusion of separation. So in my belief, we have all chosen to come into this world of form, this world of five senses, this world of contrast, this world of is and isn't. And why we chose to come into this world of is and isn't is so that we can actually gain experiential awareness of the truth of what we are. Because a world in which there's only finger, a universe in which there's only finger, there's actually no way to experience finger. I know it's a weird thing to say. So you would have to choose the illusion that something exists that is not finger in order to ever be able to experience finger. So in the same way, when all that truly exists is love, when all that truly exists is pure, ever-present awareness and love consciousness, we have to choose something that's not that in order to be able to experience what it even is. So we've chosen to come into this world of Maya, this world of form, this world of contrast, so that we can choose to remember the ever-present awareness and the love that we are. And a friend of mine, Chris, read me a really great description of what Maya is. And essentially, Maya is the illusion of separation. It was from a Kundalini book that she reads. And what it says is, all the distractions in our lives are Maya. In Sanskrit, Maya literally means that which can be measured. It is the polarity to the infinite. Maya is understood in Vedanta philosophy as the apparent creation. All that we can see and hear and touch and taste with our five senses, anything that is measurable in any way is Maya. It can be fascinating, it is enticing, it can be fun, but it is not permanent. It cannot last forever. Now, there's nothing wrong with Maya. It can give lots of pleasure and excitement, but Maya cannot provide happiness. Happiness only comes from within, nowhere else. When you touch that reality of God within you, that is happiness. So Maya is anything that can be measured. The ever-present awareness that we are, the infinite love consciousness, cannot be measured. So it's not Maya, it's not the illusion of separation. So what is important for us to remember in all of this is that we chose this. We chose this. We chose to come here. We chose experiences of fear. We chose experiences of perceived separation so that we could remember the truth that we are. We don't get to remember the truth that we are without having these experiences. However, there's a place that I see a lot of spiritually minded people get trapped, and that is that we know at a cognitive level that love is the only reality and that anything that's not love isn't real. We know that up here, and because we know that, whenever we realize that we've forgotten that. So whenever we catch ourselves in the illusion of separation, whenever we catch ourselves in a state of fear or in a state of judgment or in a state of comparison or in a state of shame, when we catch ourselves in that state, all of a sudden we go to shame. All of a sudden we shame ourselves for being in the illusion of separation. And we think that we can force ourselves back into the awareness of love. when really what's happening is we're just going on this shame spiral, and we're getting ourselves further and further out of the awareness of the true reality because we're frustrated with ourselves and we're trying to force ourselves back to, sorry, I had a call coming in. We're trying to force ourselves back to that awareness. So in the very moment that you become aware of the fact that you are in the illusion of separation, that is the moment to forgive yourself. And that is the moment to accept yourself where you're at. And that is the moment to remember that you chose this. You chose to come into this experience to forget. You wanted to forget. It's like when we think about when we go to a play or when we go to a movie, what do we want to have happen? We hope to lose ourselves. We hope to be so on the edge of our seat, so enthralled with the story, so wrapped up in the play, in the Maya, in the illusion of the story that we forget ourselves. And that's what happened when we chose to come here. It's like we entered a movie theater and we hoped that the play was so good or the movie was so good that it would cause us to lose awareness of the truth of who we really are. And when you're in a movie and you catch yourself on the edge of your seat, and you're terrified because of what's happening in the story, or you're sobbing or you're laughing, and you catch yourself in that experience of being so wrapped up in it, what do? We kind of laugh at, oh my gosh, this is crazy, at how wrapped up I could get in this illusion, right? And we bring ourselves back to the truth of the awareness of who we really are. We don't shame ourselves. We don't shame ourselves and think, oh my God, I'm so stupid for crying. It's only a movie. We don't think I'm so stupid for being afraid. It's not actually happening. We don't think I'm so stupid for laughing or for, right? We immediately accept that we got lost in the story. So that's what we aim to do on this plane, in this illusion of separation, in the Maya. We aim to be able to approach it with a sense of humor and to laugh at ourselves when we find ourselves getting so caught up in it. And just remember, this is what I wanted. This is why I bought a ticket to this movie, so that I could get so wrapped up in it. And one of my favorite things that they say in the yoga classes that I go to is yoga starts now. So oftentimes I'll be on my mat and it'll be 25 minutes into the yoga practice, or even 45 minutes into it, or maybe even in Shavasana when I'm lying there after the whole yoga practice. And it'll be the first moment that I actually remember what yoga is for. It's the first moment that I remember, oh my gosh, I'm only here to breathe. I don't need to accomplish anything. I'm not here to burn calories. I'm not here to check a box and show people how spiritual I am because I go to yoga classes. The only reason that I'm here is to be present and to be the awareness that I am. And sometimes it takes me a really long time to remember that. And it can be easy for me to shame myself, for me to be like, it's 45 minutes into the yoga class. Why did I forget? Why did I forget to be aware and be present these entire 45 minutes? It was such a waste. It can be so easy to go down that trap. But what I'm encouraging us all to do is, rather than go into that loop, instead remind ourselves, yoga starts now. It doesn't matter that it's 59 minutes into a 60-minute yoga class. It starts right now. And the very moment that we become aware that we are caught in the illusion of separation, that we are caught in the illusion that there's actually a me over here and there's actually a you over there, and we're different, we're not the same. The moment that I realize that I've forgotten that the only true awareness is love, that very moment is the exact moment that yoga starts. That's the moment that I immediately forgive myself and I immediately accept myself. And I remember, I chose to come here to get lost. I chose to come here to forget so that I could remember, so that I could rediscover the truth of who I really am. So I don't know how good or comprehensive this explanation was. I would love to hear from you all. Have you heard of the illusion of separation before? If you have, was that a good explanation? If you haven't, do you have questions about it still? And what other questions do you have about all of this? What questions do you have about spirituality or any sort of understanding? I have a pretty broad understanding of a lot of different spiritual modalities, so I would love to speak more about that, and I'd love to have you all holding me accountable for that. So feel free to reach out to me and tell me what you got out of this and any other topics that you want for me to speak about. Thanks for tuning in. Happy Wednesday.